Morning peeps, good morning everyone. How's everyone doing? Hopefully you guys are all doing well. Don't forget, hit that subscribe button. If you guys are new to the channel, don't forget as well to like and share the vids. All right, a couple of quick things before we have a look at the stories. This Wednesday, we're going to do a live. 7 o'clock as we build up to Eubank versus Smith. And then we have the live watch along for Eubank versus Smith on Saturday, obviously. That should start around 8 o'clock. I'm just trying to find out what time the ring walk is for the main event. I go up there on Thursday. So yeah, hopefully the live should start around 8 o'clock. It's always good, I think, to get a couple of the undercard fights in as well. So yeah, 2 lives to put in your diary. This Wednesday, 7 o'clock, and then the live watch along Saturday at 8 o'clock. I'm trying to do something a bit different for the live watch along as opposed, again, to just me. I'm trying to get someone in here, cameraman, etc., etc. We'll see what we can do. All right, let's have a look and see what there is to talk about today from the world of boxing. Let's start with this one. Oscar De La Hoya on Tank versus Ryan. I have no contract, deadline Monday, or we're moving on. Yeah, I saw this yesterday, obviously Monday being today, so let's hope there's been some sort of conversation between Showtime and DAZN, or Espinoza and Oscar De La Hoya. I feel like I've been in the Matrix for a couple of months because I'm pretty sure Oscar said that this fight's done. I'm pretty sure he announced it on his social media pages. I'm pretty sure Ryan said something on his Instagram and social media pages. I'm pretty sure Tank has said something. I'm pretty sure Espinoza and DAZN. So what is going on? How have we got to this stage where Ryan's promoter is saying, I don't have a contract? I don't understand boxing sometimes. Like, what is happening? I saw Espinoza have an interview or being interviewed by Fight Hub, and he said, look, this is normal. And that makes no sense to me. This is normal where you don't get contracts until close to fight time. That for me makes no sense, especially with a fight of this magnitude and a fight that has... This isn't easy to do, is it? You've got 2 broadcasters, you've got two different promoters, 2 sides of the fence or 2 sides of the street, if you like. So this is a fight where you feel like there has to be a contract. Now, I get it if it's the same promoter, same broadcaster, and I get that. That I can understand, even though I still think that's stupid. But a fight where it's so difficult to make, how there's not been a contract, baffles me. It really does. And look, I feel like Oscar's just, I was going to say throwing his toys at the pram. He's not doing that actually, but I do feel like he's just pushing them because he wants this fight officially announced now. And it should be officially announced. This fight should have been officially announced when Tank beat Hector Luis Garcia. I said, why is Ryan not there? Like, it made sense for me for Ryan to be there. Be ringside, get in the ring, announce it right there. There's clearly an issue going on behind the scenes. And that Espinoza interview with Fight Hub didn't reassure me at all. Nothing. I expected him to say, yeah, fight's done, don't worry, it's all done. Trust me, 100% the fight's got... He didn't say that. He kind of went round the houses a little bit. Go and watch the interview. And I'm like, you've not reassured me, dude. You've not reassured me that the biggest fight that we might see in 2023 is happening. I feel no reassurance. Now I'm more, it ain't happening. I'm more swinging to the it ain't happening side as opposed to it's happening now. Joke. What a joke. I hope that this is just Oscar making noise. But again, look, I would be concerned that no contract has been received. And look, again, I know there will be some that say, Addy, but this kind of happens in boxing. And I know this happens in boxing. But understand that this was always going to be a difficult fight to make just because it is 2 broadcasters. There will be rematch clauses in there. We know the weight issue as well. Obviously, it being 136. So there are a few things that, I'm sorry, there needs to be a contract signed to kind of tick those things off. Verbal agreements and handshakes ain't enough. So look, I understand Oscar's frustration here because this fight was supposed to be going on in April, and here we are now, middle of January, and no contracts have been sent over for a fight of this magnitude. I think everyone should be right to be concerned. And again, watching that Espinoza interview, he didn't fill me with confidence, put it that way. I just hope, because he seemed very is blasé the right word? But he did seem very sort of like, yeah, you know, it happens, you know, where I used to work before. Go and watch the interview. Where I used to work before, contracts are never signed. And he started to reel off a couple of fights where these fights happened lastminute.com and contracts weren't issued until fight week. And dude, come on, man. Boxing's weird. Like, fights of this magnitude that are worth, how much is Tank Davis versus Ryan Garcia worth? I don't know, 50, 60 million, maybe more. I'm sorry, contracts need to be sent over. This is ridiculous now. Dempsey McKean, I've got the full package. I know for a fact I'm a better boxer than AJ. You know what, going back to that Tank Ryan, if I don't know what's going on, because look, Ryan was supposed to have a fight in January, so I don't need the fight in January. I want to go straight into the Tank fight. So that will, going on that, surely Ryan knows the fight's happening. No? Crazy. Dempsey McKean, I've got the full package. I know for a fact I'm a better fuck off. I know for a fact I'm a better boxer than AJ. Next. And that's not with my AJ hat on, people. That's just next. Oh, God. Oh, bloody hell. Look, you got to be confident in yourself. You got to be. I'm a better broadcaster than Stephen A. Smith. I'm coming for you, Stephen A. Smith. F.A. Jagba, I controlled the fight. That's how I beat Stephen Shaw. I still haven't watched that fight, by the way. A lot of people weren't too impressed with F.A. Jagba's performance. I won't comment on that until I watch it, but people that I respect and follow on sort of Twitter were like, not great. What's happened to a Jagba, blah, blah, blah. Frank Sanchez happened to a Jagba. That's what's happened to a Jagba. But look, we'll see. We'll see what happens with him next and who they match him up with. A Deontay Wilder showdown is one that Joseph Parker would welcome. Yeah, I mean, look, obviously Joseph Parker's got that fight on the undercard of Yard Beterbiev, which still just like, for me, still makes no sense. Sorry, Joseph Parker's got that fight on the undercard of Yard Beterbiev, and we don't know what's going to happen with Deontay Wilder in the next few months. Could it be Ruiz? Could it be someone else? You kind of just want these fights to kind of be announced now. Like, what's the hold up? What's going on? I mean, what's happening? Like, why are these fights not being announced? Like, what's the hold up now with Fury Usyk? Like, what is going on? Can AJ announce who he's fighting in April? Can he announce a trainer? Like, what is happening? Fucking hell. Beterbiev, Yard is a good fighter, has good experience. He's dangerous. Yeah, true. Yard does have good experience now. I know people will just point to the fact that it's only the Kovalev fight, but I think he done well. And look, I'm not comparing Lyndon Arthur to Beterbiev, but I think he done well to go into that Lyndon Arthur fight, and he looked so much better, didn't he? I think he was a bit overconfident first time round, went back to the drawing board, had a fight in between, if I remember correctly, came back and looked good. So look, he is experienced, he is a good fighter, and he's dangerous. He's got supreme power. Like, he can hit. It's not just like sometimes you get guys with those physiques and they don't have no snap behind their punches. This brother's got snap. He's got snap. The problem is the guy he's fighting's got more snap. So we'll see. Benavidez on why showdown against Charlo hasn't materialized. Charlo is a PUSSY. Boxing again, like, you know, like what's going on? Like, what's going on? Answer on the postcard. A lot of you, and I'm going to do a video on this next. Actually, a lot of you are going ham at the YouTube Misfits crossover boxing scene. Like, this is a disgrace, and it's Ryan Garcia Tank, Charlo Benavidez, Charlo Demetrius Andrade, Errol Spence, Terence Crawford. Should I keep going? No, I won't. I'll stop. Be upset with that. Then how you're so angry towards crossover boxing. Roy Jones says he works with Eubank to prepare for Golovkin or Canelo, not Liam Smith. Cheeky, arrogant. Don't mind it. It's wrong, and they're lying again. Obviously, they're preparing for Liam Smith. This would be Eubank's biggest win. Let's not muck around here. Liam Smith will be Eubank's biggest win. Not James DeGale. James DeGale was half the man when he fought Chris Eubank. This will be his biggest win. So they are fully preparing for Liam Smith. And if he tries to say that to me on Thursday when I interview, I'm like, dude, this is your biggest win. So just stop that. I know as well behind the scenes there have been some contact with Golovkin and Eubank. Obviously, they're not going to say that because you can't overlook Liam Smith, but they're thinking Golovkin in the summer as well. They are really thinking that. He won't get the Canelo fight, Eubank, but they're thinking Golovkin in the summer. Eddie Hearn says he regrets speaking to media immediately after Ben drug test leak. Did he speak to... He didn't really speak to the media. He spoke to me, and then he did that sort of press conference with Cali Sowland. So he didn't really speak to the media. Well, at least he didn't get questions. Yeah, I feel like Eddie's interesting just because as a promoter, there is no promoter that gives you what Eddie gives you, right? Eddie speaks to everyone. And sometimes it maybe gives you too much, which is good for us. I do videos based on what he says. YouTubers get views because obviously Eddie does good views. But I do wonder sometimes if he thinks, shit, maybe I should just not speak. Because not all promoters speak like Eddie does. Even Dana White. Obviously, Dana White's going through some bullshit. Dana White used to do this media scrum immediately after. Remember, I don't know if you guys are UFC fans. Used to do this big media scrum immediately after press conferences and post fights and stuff. It doesn't do it anymore. It's almost like, I ain't doing it more because I might slip up and say something. Whereas Eddie gives you so much. And sometimes I wonder if he just thinks, shit, maybe I went a bit too much. Ryan Garcia admits concern over Gervonta Davis's legal issues. Wilder's trainer, Malik Scott, who I saw, obviously he was managing one of the YouTubers. Andrew Ruiz presents absolutely no threat to a disciplined Deontay. That's interesting that he said that. To a discipline. Like, why would you even say that? Don't you find those words interesting? Like, you would just normally say to a Deontay, discipline would make me feel like Malik Scott's had, and I'm reading between the lines here, but I'm just maybe thinking that obviously he's been in camp with him for 2 fights, and maybe he's thinking that, you know, his mind might be elsewhere sometimes. Interesting. But I think Andy Ruiz presents a lot of threat to Deontay Wilder, a lot. Andy Ruiz is a very good boxer. It's more the other way around, really. Like, if you're talking disciplined, you more label that on the Andy Ruiz head as opposed to Deontay Wilder, but hey, we'll see. Manager, Joseph Parker is still 31. His best years are still ahead of him. It doesn't work like that. Boxing is one of those sports where obviously age matters, right? I mean, father time catches up with you, but being in fights like he was against Joe Joyce will catch up with you quicker than age will. Like, you can't take that kind of punishment. And he's quite fortunate that he's not really been in fights like that. Both Chisora fights, he got hit, but not like that. What other fight? Dillian White, yeah, nothing like the Joe Joyce beating was a beating. There's no two ways. That was a beating, and you can't take many of those. You can't take those at all. So it won't be age that's a problem for Joseph Parker. It's who he fights. Obviously, nothing's going to happen to him in his next fight, I don't think. But yeah, we'll see. Anything else to talk about? Let's have a quick look. Bob Arum, date for Haney, Loma is pretty well set. May 20th. Issue is, where is it gonna be? I'd love to know that fight, how big that fight is in the States. Like, is that a Madison Square Garden? Like, Haney is undisputed. Loma, Hall of Famer, right? Hall of Famer. It's a big, big fight. Like, a fight of that magnitude over here would sell out an arena. I don't know if Haney has that pull. This will tell you whether or not Haney has that kind of that magic superstar dust that you want fighters to get, like, at this stage of their career. Good age, speaks well, again, undisputed. Really and truly, he should be able to do, I don't know, I was going to say MSG, but that's a big arena. That's 20 plus thousand. Was it 21, whatever thousand? I don't know what the next is. That's about a 15,000. He should be able to do that. Let's see what pool he has, because I'm sorry, Loma's a name, Haney's a name. If that's promoted correctly, that should pull good numbers. What else have we got? Dimitri Bivol here, back in David Benavidez and Caleb Plant clash. Is that fight done? I remember seeing a poster of that fight being done. Remember that? Is that fight done? Is it signed? Let me know, because I remember seeing a poster and I thought, oh wow, that came from nowhere, and now all of a sudden it feels like it's gone just a bit quiet. As you can tell, I'm on one today because boxing. Yeah. Jermaine Franklin emerges as a serious candidate for Anthony Joshua's next fight. I saw someone announce it today on Twitter. I think it was, who? I don't know, the page. Boxing King? I don't know who done it. I don't believe it yet until I see it. I haven't heard anything about it. I don't think this is going to go down too well. You can't go. This is the problem I have with this fight. And I think this is the problem a lot of people are going to have with this fight. You can't go from wanting to fight Dillian Whyte, and that's what we kind of heard. We heard that. Dillian Whyte in March. You can't go from Dillian Whyte in March to them fighting the guy that Dillian Whyte beat. And I know it might have been a bit controversial, but Dillian Whyte beat him, didn't he? It was close, but Dillian Whyte won. You can't then go to fight him. You can't. I don't think you can do that. I don't think you can do that. I'd rather you fight someone, even just from the optics, I'd rather you fight someone at least coming off a win. I don't know. I just don't think Jermaine Franklin's going to go down well. It won't. Like, I was talking about Jermaine Franklin versus Daniel Dubois. I said that. You guys might have seen my video I did a couple of weeks back, and I was saying, that's an option for Daniel Dubois, not an option for the former unified heavyweight champion. And I know some of you AJ fans are going to say things like, well, one second, the lineal champion, Tyson Fury, fought Tom Schwartz, and I get that. And we hated that. We didn't like that, did we? So then I'm not going to like AJ, who I thought put up a good performance against Usyk, fighting Dillian Whyte's leftovers. Don't want it. Don't want to see it. Honestly, don't want to see it. I want to see Otto Volin. If I had my choice, that's the one I want to see. I think AJ will smash him. But look, it is what it is. It is what it is. It'll be interesting to see how, if it is Jermaine Franklin, it'll be interesting to see what their narrative, how it's spun. How do you justify it? It'll be interesting to see how Team AJ, and I guess Eddie will be the one that's fielded all the questions, how they justify it. Again, I know, I kind of feel like the spill's going to be, a lot of people thought he beat White, but he didn't. So yeah, we'll see. Golovkin, Eubank Jr. could be an interesting fight down the road. Yeah, we spoke about that. Anything else at all? I have a little bits and pieces. Inoue vacating all these belts, going up in weight like that. But Stephen Fulton is now, I think I read that, let's have a quick look, is now going up in weight as well. So the idea of that fight happening anytime soon, I doubt it. Boxing. All right, anyway, we are done. Peace and love to all of you. Wednesday live. Well, look, I'm going to do so many more videos anyway. But Wednesday live, and then a live on Saturday, live watch along.